Hello everybody, it's Magma and I'm here to do a little LEGO review on the LEGO Star Wars Rancor Pit. So this is a set that was released in 2013, I believe summer of 2013. It included 380 pieces. It is set number 75005, ages 8 through 14. So this is one of those sets that was supposed to accompany the Jabba Palace from 2012. And honestly, it was a pretty cool thing to do. Here I got quickly on the box, show you. Here's what you could do. You could go ahead and connect or combine both sets and have this. So the result looked a little bit weird because the large tower next to Jabba's Palace was not the same height. However, if you included some of your own bricks, you could really do something that was worth having. However, I don't have Jabba's Palace yet, so we'll have to wait for the combination. But for now, I do want to review the Rancor Pit and show you what would you get if you didn't get the Jabba's Palace. So it's the case in my collection. This set has nothing to do with anything because I don't actually have Jabba's Palace or any of the components. So in the middle of my collection, I have this, which doesn't look very aesthetic, kind of looks like a castle with the pointy things. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you get in this set. Of course, the minifigures are kind of the big drive. The set itself is only worth having for the display, I believe. So the first minifigure we get is Luke Skywalker. Now Luke Skywalker was claimed as new at the time. He has two face expressions. He does not come with a lightsaber, which is pretty surprising. It's one of those few sets where Jedis don't come with lightsabers. He comes with a bone, so a large bone. And that's pretty much just Luke Skywalker, the one we had from Star Wars Episode 6. He's it's nice to have him in this set for the display, but I don't have much uses for him. Next up is Malakili, or the Rancor Keeper, which I'll just name the Rancor Keeper because I can't say his name. Now he's pretty accurate to the movie. It's the only set we get him in, so he's still exclusive to the set in the day of 2017, or in the days of 2017. He comes with this kind of big fork. I don't know how to call this. I'm guessing it's some sort of tool to go ahead and control the Rancor in a way. And he also comes with a key, which I'll show you guys in the set later. Not too much to say about him. He's a kind of character if you've watched the movie several times, but nothing very, very cool about him other than that. He has a pretty cool printed torso chest piece though. Next up is the Gamorrean Guard, and he's the last figure we get. Now, actually, I never really got any of the old Gamorrean Guards, so I'm very happy to get this new printed one. Even though it's not the original, I have a lot of affection for the original because one of my good friends as a child had the old Jabba sail barge, and I would often play with it and play with all his... I think he got one or maybe two Gamorrean Guards in that set, so I have a lot of affection for the old versions. However, these new versions are fully printed and look much, much better, more accurate. The color is, again, more accurate, and so on. So definitely the Gamorrean Guard is the big drive for me in this set. That's just for me personally. And then next up, a big fig, or I think that's how we call them, we get the Rancor. Now, first time and last time in LEGO that we probably will ever be getting a Rancor. And the old Jabba's Palace from 2004, or 2003 maybe, I can't remember. It had the pit, so it had the chamber where Jabba sits down, all that stuff, and under it had this small pit where theoretically the Rancor would be in. However, we didn't get a Rancor in that set, and that was a pretty ugly set. In fact, I think one of the ugliest LEGO Star Wars sets ever. And so we finally do get the Rancor here, and he has a printed eyes, the mouth is flexible, and I'll show you guys all that he can do in the review. So without further ado, let's just get into the set. As you can see itself here, there is quite a few stuff we can do with it. However, a lot of the stuff, like, I feel like if I actually had Jabba's Palace, this set would make much more sense and would be much more fun in general. But there's still a few little things we can do with it, and I'll show you that right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this part. I'll actually go ahead and lower the light intensity. There we go. So here we actually have this little skeleton head, and the box shows that there's a skeleton. Now I can't, okay, never mind. So we do get a skeleton head here, and there's some bones and an arm, and there's a key in there. Now I believe this is the key that goes with the gatekeeper, so I'll keep that aside. And then there's just a bunch of bones and stuff. Doesn't really much have a purpose. I thought Luke's lightsaber would be in here, but I guess not. Yeah, I think it's kind of cute. It's kind of funny for a large display, but not really much of a play feature right there. And however, what I do enjoy, what I really like, is how these pillars just melt down into the ground. Now, as you can see in the middle, there's actually nothing. It's a big square. And that's theoretically where you would put the Rancor. As you can see, he fits pretty well in there. But I'll show you another shot of that in a second. Now, these pillars actually have some fun features. This one doesn't. They come with these... I don't know the name of this piece, but I just love it in any type of color I ever get it. And I think they're great for mocks. So it's on this side. You can tell we can actually go ahead and open this up, and what we get inside is actually nothing. Surprise, surprise. So here's what I believe we're supposed to do, or what's supposedly we can do. Let's go ahead and fit Luke Skywalker in there. There's a bunch of space for him. And go ahead and close that up, and he can just be hiding in there. So I'm pretty sure the Gamorrean guard, which as you can tell, he's much of a bigger figure. I think he also fits. Can't be too sure, so oh my god. Let's see. I believe he fits in there. Yeah, he fits in there. So that's pretty cool. As you can see, not anything going on here, but still pretty aesthetic set, I have to say. There's not like black pins coming out or stuff like that, so pretty aesthetic set. And then here we have a crate on this side, and what comes in the crate is just a piece of chicken. Now supposedly I think it's for the gatekeeper to feed the Rancor, not too sure, but yeah. And here we have a skeleton. Now, people consider skeletons as figures. I don't, because, or I mean, I guess I could, but it's just a skeleton. There's nothing special to it. If you want to get a skeleton, it's relatively cheap. So yeah. However, it is the new generation type of skeletons with the better arms. So maybe it's worth mentioning. You can just have him anywhere in the set. Dead looking. Okay, so actually there's a spare key. I was pretty sure that key was supposedly the one we were to use. But you can go ahead and plug it in here. You know, it's Lego, so just plug it in. And supposedly you can have fun opening and closing the gate. So that's the gate. If you have some extra bricks, I would suggest maybe putting a wall here, because it doesn't make much sense, you know. Because there's a gateway, but there's nothing blocking the characters from finding another way in. So that's that. And then there's another tool, a fork. I'm unsure how to name this tool. Maybe a fork pick or pike, I don't know. I forget the name of this. And then we have a bucket. So nothing too exciting, I guess. It's just more for the decoration, for the aesthetics of the set, and I appreciate the detail of the Lego designers. So that's that. Here there's the iconic red button that Luke tries to push, or no, he hits with the skull. So that's the skull he finds, and supposedly you can take that off, and then he throws it at the button, and I'm assuming that's supposedly where he hides and finds the big bone. So I'm assuming, because I'm not sure. And here on each side you have some torches, I guess. Nothing too exciting. And then on this side, it's a bit more exciting. What you can do is you can pull this backwards like this. Let me just pull back a bit. There you go. So you can pull this back and then bring the castle thing up, and then close down like so. Keep it open. You can completely remove it if you want, and you can keep it this high up. So, and the Rancor does fit through. I mean, yeah, it does fit through. So that's that. And there you go. I do want to mention this is a pretty, I don't know if it's being used in other Lego sets. I'm pretty sure Must have been used in some sort of castle sets, but it is a really cool piece, and if I had more spare pieces and I could make mocks, I would definitely use this piece. I think it's really cool. So a lot of big pieces in this set kind of explains the price. I'm unsure if I mentioned the price. The price of this set was at the time $60 US, so I would never have paid such a price. In fact, I actually paid, I think it was over 50% off maybe. I think it was 50% off when I bought it. Anyways, there's this clip here, and you can go ahead and unclip it and then completely open it. I don't know the full purpose of this. I guess it's just to have more areas to play, and then here have the door. Anyways, if you have your castle, excuse me, not a castle. If you have Jabba's Palace on top, it's going to be on top of this, so you'll still be able to open this up. I don't know the full extent of why we can go ahead and open that, but it's nice. It gives more play area, and it's easier for me to show you the inside. So as you can see, the build is the build is going to be pretty quick. There's not much technique. In fact, it's just putting blocks of pieces on top of each other. So you get around to it pretty quickly. Now I do want to talk quickly about the Rancor. Big Fig, I think that's what you guys call it nowadays. Back in the day when I love when I think back to back in the day. Back in the day when I was into Lego, when I was a child and all, we didn't have all these like big minifigures. You'd have to make those up in your head or build them out of Lego, which was not that bad. But nowadays we get these guys, and I think it's kind of much better. So the foot, obviously, for some reason they have different stud absorbers, I guess, configurations. I don't know why. Here you can see pretty detailed minifigure, has the spikes and all, and his arms go up and down, his hands twist, and there's some pretty cool stuff we can do with him. So let me go ahead and show you that. Just bring some lights. Alright, so he can go ahead and grab a minifigure, no problem. He comes with a chain on one side. It's not attached to anything. I don't think it can be. So kind of pointless, but I guess accurate to detail. He's got these pretty big claws in both hands. Both hands rotate 360. There you go. And his face, obviously, pretty menacing face. Open that. Fit a minifigure inside. I've already been able to fit a minifigure completely inside, but I do want to warn you guys. I've added Luke completely inside, but it's a pain to pull him out. I'll do it, I guess, just once. Okay, point is, you can fit him inside completely and close his mouth and have the minifigure inside, but then it's more than a pain to pull him out, and sometimes you get stuck, and then it's just a waste of time, and so on. But if you do want to do that, don't worry, you can. And the Rancor is one of my favorite larger minifigures. He's much better than the Wampa because of the mouth. You have so much fun eating up whoever you're playing with. So that's that. We'll go ahead and get some final thoughts. So for some sort of conclusion, I think it would be worth considering the price of the set, which used to be $60 US or $59.99. Again, the set mentions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minifigures, counting the skeleton and the Rancor. I know I wouldn't count the Rancor or the skeleton. Many people would argue that the Rancor makes up for a few minifigures. I would argue that it's just not a minifigure at all. 380 pieces, $60 US. It's definitely a ripoff. However, if you have Jabba's Palace, it is completely worth having. Now, considering this set without having Jabba's Palace and without ever getting Jabba's Palace, like this in my collection, I would never pay actually such a hefty price. In fact, I didn't. I got this set on sale, and I think that's what you should definitely do. Getting this set new is not really going to get you anywhere or get you anything in particular, mainly because as long as you get all the minifigures, there's nothing like particular about getting this set new. Sometimes you want to get it new because of the stickers, because of the discoloration of the white. I don't know, there's a bunch of cool reasons to get new sets. I would get this set if you want, or if you really want it, online, already bought by somebody, so already opened, already built, already played with, for a much lower price, because that's what it's worth, or at least that's what I think it's worth. If you want to get the Rancor by itself, definitely go ahead and do that. That's what I would most likely suggest, because that's what you most likely want to get this set for, is the Rancor. Definitely minifigure selection by itself, you could pay, I guess, maybe he's worth $10–20 at most. I'm really unsure what the Rancor goes for. But on the other hand, these minifigures, like all three of these guys, I guess for $10 you could get all of them, or likely under $10. So definitely you should go ahead and do that. There's not much point to get this unless you want to display or play with it. Maybe if you just like, if it doesn't look aesthetic to you, maybe just get the minifigures, because you're not really going to have much use out of this, and it's just going to be a hassle in your collection. So yep, definitely price is way too high. However, get components of this set by yourself on Bricklink if you really want it. That's my full opinion. However, the set itself is a lot of fun to play with if if you have a lot of fun to play with the Rancor and so on. I can't say that this is so much fun to play with, because with my big hands, it's definitely kind of a hassle to get around these columns. However, I do think that it's very aesthetic on my shelf. So I would recommend this set to any LEGO Star Wars fan, because adults are going to have a blast displaying this, especially if you have Jabba Palace, and then young kids are going to have so much of a blast playing with the Rancor, and of course the pit coming with it. So that's my final opinion, guys. Thanks for watching this LEGO Star Wars set review. As always, please give me some feedback in the comment section below. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next time here on MAGMA's channel for another great LEGO video. Bye-bye.
The dark side.